What is up, YouTube? This is TJY Productions here. Today I'm going to take a walk through my top 10 catches of 2015. Hope you guys enjoy this. Lots of cool things up here. So let's get going. This is my 10th favorite. Had I been anywhere else, this probably would be a little higher up. We were heading to Michigan for college visit, and drove over this in Chicago. I want to say this is Bensonville, could be wrong. I think this was I-55 maybe, but really cool. XIC&E or DM&E, the RCPE SD40-2s there, Canadian Pacific SD40, as well as I believe two Jeeps behind the Sioux SD60M, which I've never seen before. Canadian Pacific, and that one actually does look like a Dakota, Minnesota and Eastern DM&E. And just a little bit out of sight was this other Sioux Jeep here switching. That was pretty cool. That's my number 10. Back in January 24th to be specific, Kansas City Southern SD70 Ace with a SD70 Mac, I believe. Brand new Ace, only had 1,100 miles on it at the time. It was leading Canadian Pacific train 473, 4190. He was switching in Savannah and he was moving forward and back quite a bit. Check out this clip. This was the second time he pulled past us after backing in the clear. Hope you enjoy this. Number 8 made the list. I've never seen anything similar to this before. This is the first time I've seen one of these. This is EJ&E 669 SD40-2. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen one of these. This was in the yard on the Canadian National at Freeport on March 21st. We were on our way to Savannah that day, and yeah, first time I've ever seen one of these. Really cool, and hopefully I can end up seeing a few more sometime soon. Number 7 was really an unexpected treat. My dad and I had went to Savannah for the day, and we actually had stopped at Manny's, one of our favorite places to eat in Savannah. If you haven't been there yet, go there. They have great food. Order the tacos. Get tacos. But anyway, we'd stopped. We were eating dinner. Their restaurant is trackside. As long as no one's sitting in the booths along the windows, you can get a great view as the trains roll past with the river in the background. And that's what we were doing. First train or two was just BNSF junk, and we'd gotten our food, so I didn't really plan on getting up. But train was coming down the river southbound, BNSF eastbound, and Norfolk Southern on the point, so I didn't really care. Another Norfolk Southern behind it, so I just kept eating, and next thing you know, there's a red locomotive, so I sprang up, and I don't think my dad has seen me move faster. I sprinted about as fast as I could to the back porch and snapped a few low quality, grainy, gross pictures because of the lighting, but I saw it. There's the proof. So it's one of the cool catches that I wish I'd have had a camera set up for. Yeah. Number 6 is honestly a personal favorite of mine. My dad and I had just visited the college that I plan to attend, and then made our way to the railroad tracks because it's my dad and I, that's what we do. And we just saw 3 BNSF trains. 2 of them came at the same time, scared the crap out of me. And we just left, and we're heading down. We're going to follow the tracks all the way to Savannah and actually run along them to our house, or close to our house anyways. And we got just outside of Dubuque and stumbled upon this guy. And because I'd never seen an actual Canadian National train on Canadian National rails, we turned back around and raced him here. And to this day, this is still probably the coolest shot that I've taken. The picture you're looking at comes off my iPhone 5C when I had one. I didn't bring a tripod because I didn't plan on going to the railroad tracks, which is dumb because it's my dad. We always go to the railroad tracks. So bear with the footage because I am snapping pictures while holding a camera unsteadily. Also, I believe this is the first time I've ever seen a GTW locomotive. Number 5 was one of the cool catches that I wish I again would have had time to have a camera rolling on. But this is the same day as the EJ&E unit, so it was a pretty good day overall. March 21st, we driven down by the tracks and heard this guy was coming, so we tried to beat it to the diamond, but didn't quite make it. But there's a BNSF SD70 Mac with a CFX SD60 and a Norfolk Southern SD70 Ace at the Savannah yard. Just a cool mix of colors there, and yeah, it was one of the neat things of the year. Number 4 made the list because it's the last one that I needed to catch. And the last train of the year, as a matter of fact. I was actually out at Sam Gotti's house. Kind of got snowed in there when we had the bad blizzard on December 28th. And there was a post in a couple of the Facebook groups saying 1988 was leading a train to Belvedere. Of course, you know, when I'm not home, wonderful. But that was the morning of the 29th, and I was going home that day. We rail fans Spalding and UP Trace said it wasn't scheduled to leave Belvedere until 9, so I held it to it and came home, checked the yards. It was still sitting down there. And sure thing, 9 o'clock rolls around. They were building this train, and I think it was 9:07 specifically in the evening when he started leaving the yard, and it was about 9:15, 9:20ish when I saw him roll through town, and it was just so cool. My 6th Union Pacific Heritage unit, And yeah, it's just really cool. Check this out. This next one takes us back to what could be considered one of the more classic days of railroading. This consist is in the old ABA style with 2 cab locomotives sandwiching a B unit. They're certainly not all good old Cascade green, as I would hope for, but we have here at Peck Park for railroad days, this is BNSF 538, BNSF GEB 40-8W, pulling BNSF 334, a Jeep 60B, and 1428, which is an old BNSD 60M. They were headed north on the Mendota sub to run a local job, and it's just really cool to see something like this. Not something you get on the road a whole lot, so check this out. Number 2 is probably one of the coolest locomotives that I have ever seen. Amtrak 42, one of 3 veterans locomotives that Amtrak has, along with, Norfolk Southern's veterans unit. I think there are a couple short lines that have locomotives that honor veterans too, but Amtrak 42 is one that I've been wanting to see for quite some time, and they ran that along with 406 on the exhibit train, which hung out all weekend at Galesburg. Actually, just a couple minutes, maybe half an hour or so after my top catch of the year ran, this train came into town and parked where it sat. I think it's really cool that Amtrak and Norfolk Southern and some of the other ones take, a little bit of time and resources to make a rolling memorial for those that are willing to sacrifice everything they have just so we can have our freedom. I think that's really cool. Huge thanks for Amtrak and Norfolk Southern and all the others that have went and done this. I think it's really awesome, and they should be really proud of what they've done. So that is my number 2, Amtrak 42. So thrilled to have caught that finally. I don't have Amtrak, thanks to Mr. Browner in Illinois. So I kind of never thought I'd get to see that one unless I got really lucky, and I guess I kind of did. So, my number 2. If it weren't railroad days, you'd think I was crazy for number 1. This, by far, is the, I want to say, second most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen. The first was when BNSF 1848, the green ST40-2, was pulling a old school dome car out of the hump yard. That was quite hysterical. But this in my opinion, takes the cake. This is the Leviathan 63 steam locomotive, which had come to town for the weekend as well, along with Amtrak 42 and the ES 44 that BNSF put on display, 8358, one of the new ones at the time. And in this picture, 8358 is pushing the Leviathan 63 up one of the receiving tracks towards the depot, heading north. He went and pulled her back out of the south pit there where the locomotives in the far background are at. They done a little servicing to her. You notice that 8358 has the orange mesh fencing around the back handrail. I think the front, no, not the front, just the back. That was BNSF's display locomotive. And just before this came into view, BNSF 1817 had backed into my shot. So 1817 backs up as the Leviathan comes out from underneath the bridge, and it's not only one of the neatest shots, it's the most ridiculous. Seriously, if there wasn't an event and I told you that a steam locomotive was pulling a new Gevo through the yard, you'd think guy's nuts. So this is honestly just takes the cake. By far the best, most ridiculous, but probably coolest thing. And I don't know if I'm ever going to see that ever happen again. So that's my number one. Check this out. thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed my top 10. I know I did. Had a lot of fun throughout the year catching them and meeting some more wonderful people. And hopefully 2016 can bring me even more. Thanks for watching.